Keth Varn slammed his claw on the podium. Cadet Calder! Failed! Step off the mat now! Rena Calder froze mid-stance on the combat floor. Her human eyes flicked up from Ixotel's slumped form. She didn't bow, didn't retreat. The arena hummed with observer drones. Coalition flags rippled on the walls. Keth's staff lined the upper dais. 5 evaluators, respirators sealed, scanning pads ready. Rena raised one hand, pointed straight at them. Safety stop. Now. Keth blinked his triple lids. Humans delayed everything. Cadet, your opponent yields. Trial ends. Disengage. She shook her head, ignored him, her gaze locked on the dais. They're not moving. Keth followed her point. His lead evaluator, Tirobos, stood rigid. Claw frozen mid-note, respirator dangled loose from her neck seal. He signaled her. Sharp double claw flash. Standard recall. No response. Keth's vents tightened. He flashed again. Louder. Tira, status? Silence. The other 4 mirrored her. Still as statues. Rena bolted. She snatched a fallen respirator from the dais edge, slapped it onto Tyra's faceplate with a hiss seal. Tyra convulsed. Claws spasmed. Gasped through the filter. Keth leaped from his podium. Med alert. All stations. Alarms blared late. Drones whirred in panic spirals. Marshal Examiner Soren Hulex burst onto the comms. Varn! Report! What's the breach? Keth sealed his own respirator, rushed to the dais. Evaluators compromised. Unknown agent. Calder detected it. Rena yanked another mask free. Jammed it on the next judge. That one jerked alive. Coughed. Clawed at air. Ixotel stirred on the mat below. Groaned. What? Cheat. Quiet. Rena snapped. She vaulted the rail, grabbed the third mask. Keth waved off his guards. Let her work. She moved like she'd trained for this. Precise. No waste. Soren's face filled the main hollow screen. Crest flared in fury. Human! You disrupted protocol. Explain. Rena didn't pause. Slapped the 4th mask home. Instructors froze first, then your rival. Odorless. Tasteless. It's your vents! Keth inhaled sharp. His breather cycled clean. But the air he'd smelled nothing. Med Tech Juno Park shoved through the side hatch. Human. Coalition in bed. Mask. Already on. She scanned Tira. Neurotoxin. Silent dispersal. Coalition lungs filter it slow. Humans don't. Soren's eyes narrowed. Proof? Juno jabbed her pad at the screen. Readings spiked. Dais vents. Sabotaged. Trial gas masked it. Keth's claws clenched. Sabotage. In his arena. Ixo staggered up. Fur matted. She poisoned us! Disqualify! Rena spun, faced him square. You escalated triple hold downs. Broke 3 rules. I held back. Ixo snarled. Charged. Keth stepped in, pinned him with one claw. Stand down, Cadet Telm. Or joined the failed. Ixo bucked. Went limp, under pressure. Soren barked orders. Evacuate evaluators. Lock the station. Varn. Secure the human. Keth glanced at Rena. She checked the last judge. Steady hands. No panic. Not compromised, he said into comms. Calder saved them. Juno nodded. Packed her kit. Pattern matches old raids. Galactic fringe tactic. Aliens dropped first. Soren hesitated. Screen flickered. Varn. Full report. If true. Alarms shifted. Containment klaxons. Keth scanned the arena seals. Air cycling faster now. Drones herded observers to locks. Rena wiped sweat. Met his gaze. Trial's flawed. Anyone smells wrong, you stop. Or next time, no one walks. Keth's vents eased. Procedure had blinded him. Her instincts cut through. A side panel hissed. Station security flooded in, led by Captain Lear. Marshal's orders, Lear said. Quarantine the floor. Keth waved them back. Not yet. Interrogate first. Rena pointed at Ixo. He pushed the holds. Knew the rules blind. Check his gear. Ixo. Hissed. Lies. Security stripped him. A microvial tumbled free, embedded in his bracer. Juno snatched it. Scanned. Dispersal agent. Matches the toxin. Soren's voice cracked the air. Taln. Motive? Isho spat. Humans don't belong. Weak. I prove it. Keth stared, his top cadet. Traitor. Rena crossed arms. Calm. You folded in 30 seconds. We adapt. Security dragged Ixo out. Shouts echoed. Soren leaned in. Calder. You passed. Unofficially. She shrugged. Just survival. Keth turned to Juno. Embed report? Human baseline, Juno said. We check air first. Always. The dais cleared. Evaluators wheeled to medbay. Alive. Keth faced Rena. You saw it. Why? Stillness. She said. No breathing vents. No blinks. Routine check. Routine. To her. Soren cut in. New protocol. Human observers mandatory. All trials. Keth nodded. Felt the shift. Coalition strength wasn't just claws or speed. It was this. Humans. Spotting the invisible. A drone pinged. Outer sensors lit. Intruders! Lear yelled. Breach at Bay 3. Keth grabbed his sidearm. Calder. With me. She nodded. Fell in step. No argument. No fear. They charged the corridor. Alarms wailed. Keth's mind raced. Saboteurs. Tied to Ixo? Rena tapped her wristcom. Juno. Toxin antidotes. Stalked. Affirm. Juno crackled back. Doors sealed behind. Battle ahead. Keth glanced at her. Underestimated. No more. The flaw exposed. Banders rewritten. But the fight? Just starting. Blaster fire echoed from the bay. Rena drew her issue stunner. Smiled faint. They blinked too. Keth charged. Human at his side. Coalition unbreakable now. Station shook. Impacts rattled bulkheads. Keth kicked the bay door, burst in low. 3 figures in void suits. Rifles hot. Firing at security. Rena rolled right. Flanked the crates. Stunner cracked twice. 1 dropped. Twitching. Keth fired center. Hit armor. They spun. Lear's team poured fire. Pinned the last 2. Rena vaulted a console. Slapped breather on a downed security grunt. Breathe. The grunt coughed. Fired back. Keth advanced. Claws out. Grabbed the lead intruder's rifle. Snapped it. Who sent you? He growled. The figure gurgled. Mask fogged. Toxin vial shattered at his feet. Dead. Soren's voice boomed, station-wide. All clear. Containment holds. Keth scanned the bay. Crates marked fringe cartel. Ixo's contacts. Rena checked the bodies. Comms fried. But logs. She pulled a data chit, slotted into her pad. Juno arrived. Antidote deployed. Casualties minimal. Keth exhaled. Watched Rena decode the chit. Fast. Efficient. Proof, she said. Handed it over. Ixo's handler. Trial sabotage for recruitment. Soren appeared on Bay Hollow. Calder. Full coalition trial pass. Effective now. Rena nodded. Team effort. Keth met her eyes. Procedure saved lives. But her calm broke it open. Humans. Normal instincts. Extraordinary edge. The arena would never be the same. Keth Barnes slapped the emergency seal on the arena doors. Metal groaned. Locked tight. He punched the ventilation override next. Fans whirred to a halt. Air stagnated. Cadets slumped mid-strike. Ixo Teln's claws froze inches from Rena Calder's throat. Silence gripped the chamber. No cheers. No gasps from the observation deck. Keth's scales itched. Wrong. All wrong. He scanned the hollow displays. Life signs flatlining across the floor. Rena moved first. She grabbed Ixo's arm, yanked him down. The alien cadet hit the deck hard. Gasped. Rena dragged him toward the floor vents. Low grates near the walls. She hooked another cadet, Lear's understudy, by the collar. Pulled him to. Breathe low. Her voice cut sharp. No panic. Routine. She dropped to her knees, pressed her face to the grate, inhaled shallow. Ixo coughed, clawed at her, but followed. Chest heaving near the floor. Keth's claws flexed. Human instinct. Gases sink. She knew. He activated his calm. Medtech Park.
Arena breach.
Possible toxin. Juno Park burst through the judge's access panel, the scanner in hand. She swept the observation deck. Beams danced over Soren Halleck's rigid form. Neurotoxin. Colorless. Odorless. Heavy dispersal. Juno's words clipped. She jabbed a hypospray into the marshal's neck. Soren jerked. Eyes fluttered. Judges down. Symptoms match. Paralysis, respiratory fail. Keth's vents burned. He crouched low, felt the drag in his lungs. Soren Halleck lurched upright, face ashen. Park, stand down. His voice boomed over the arena speakers. Protocol override. Trial continues. Calder disrupted procedure. Charges pending. Juno spun. Marshall, you're poisoned. All of you. Soren waved her off, clutched the rail. Illusion tactics. Standard test. Keth growled. Air's dead. Look at the feeds. Hollow screens flickered. Cadet sprawled. Limbs twitching. Ixo retched near the vent. Rena held him down. Forced his head low. Breathe through it. Slow. She demonstrated, chest barely rising. 2 more cadets stirred. Crawled to her position, mimicked. Keth sealed the upper vents. Isolated the poison pocket. But the arena held 500. Recruits, evaluators, guests. Juno scanner beeped. Source trace. Dispersal pod under central platform. She pointed. A faint haze shimmered at knee height. Keth vaulted the barrier. Claws scraped deck plates. He ripped open the service hatch. Found the pod. Cartel markings. Fringe syndicate. Same as the bay logs. Soren barked from above. Varn! Tampering is disqualification. Keth ignored him. Smashed the pod. Shards scattered. Alarms wailed. Purge cycle kicked in. From the floor vents only. Rena had positioned them right. Fresh air filtered low. She rose. Steady. Checked Ixo's pulse. Nodded. Marshall. Trials compromised. Toxins live. Soren's eyes widened. He swayed. Juno caught him. Confirmed. Juno flashed her pad. Neuroblocker. Lethal in minutes. Keth climbed back. Evac low first. Humans knew to drop. Soren gripped the console. Sweat beaded on his frills. Impossible. Arena certified. Vetted. Rena stood amid the stirring cadets. Not against silent killers. She slotted her wristpad into the judge console. Uploaded a sim. Standard drill. Gas, sinks, vents pull low. U-test strikes. Not survival. Hollow replayed the trial feed. Cadets lunged high. Exposed. Poison bloomed center. They inhaled deep. Fell. Rena's roll. Low and controlled. Dodged it all. Ixo staggered up. Coughed.
She cheated?
Rena met his glare. Calm. Adapted. Keth's chest tightened. Pride swelled. Procedure blind. Human basics exposed it. Soren activated station-wide. Full purge. Med teams to arena. Doors hissed. Breather teams rushed low. Distributed masks. Juno triaged the deck. Hyposprays flew. Keth watched Rena direct cadets. Vents clear. Move slow. She saved 10. Maybe 20, by instinct. Ixo clutched his side. Stared at her. No words. Soren slumped into his chair. Calder. Explain the flaw. Rena stepped forward. Voice level. Your trials assume open air. Equal fight. She tapped the console. Pulled specs. No toxin protocols. No low-flow sims. Enemies don't. Keth nodded. Coalition-prided precision strikes. Honor duels? Humans? They crawled through hell. Breathed poison. One ugly. Soren exhaled. New standard. Mandatory.
He keyed the override. Cadet Calder.
Pass with honors. Arena stirred. Cheers filtered through masks. But Keth saw the shift. Eyes on Rena. Respect dawning. Juno sidled up. Her vitals steady. Trained for this. Keth glanced at the shattered pod. Cartel again. Isho's contacts. Sabotage to break her. He commed security. Trace dispersal origin. Rena caught his eye. Nodded. Ready for more. Station alarms hummed low. Containment held. For now. But the air whispered threats. Next breach waited. Keth's claws itched. Humans changed the game. Coalition unbreakable? Only with them. Rena vaulted the platform. Slapped a breather on Soren. Marshall. Breathe. He coughed. Fired orders. Teams moved. Keth advanced. Rifle ready. Shadows stirred in the vents. Not over. Juno scanner pinged. Secondary pod. Bay access. Keth spun. Burst through the doors. Figures in void suits. Rifles hot. Station shook. Trial's edge cut deep. Keth Varn jabbed the console. The trial feed snapped to life on the main holo. Rena Calder dodged low in the recording. Ixo Teln's plasma whip cracked overhead. She rolled, tagged a scoring beacon with her gauntlet. Green light flashed. Point scored. Keth froze the frame, rewound 3 seconds. There, a faint mist, tied to the beacon's activation pulse. Legal aerosol burst. Coalition rules allowed scoring markers. Environmental sims. But this? He zoomed. Microdroplets clung to Rena's breather seal. She hadn't flinched. Adjusted flow. Kept moving. Marshal. Keth's voice cut through the command deck hum. Soren Halleck turned from the security feed. The poison, built into the beacons. Soren's frills flared. Impossible, betted tech. Keth pulled live scans. Arena floor schematics overlaid. 30 beacons active, all pulsing nominal. Still armed. 1 burst per activation. Rena triggered 5. Others untouched. Alarms blared sharper. Juno Park burst in. Scanner in grip. Secondary pod neutralized. Intruders down, but traces matched the aerosol. Rena stood at the deck rail, wiping gel from her visor. Calm eyes scanned the holo. Scoring systems the vector. Dismantle one. Soren nodded curt. Do it. Live feed. Keth locked eyes with her. Human, steady. No bravado. He keyed Arena access. Team swept clear. Rena dropped to the floor mats. She crouched by central beacon. Multi-tool out, popped the casing. Wires gleamed. Standard emitter. Then she pried deeper. Nano seal broke. A micro canister tumbled free. Silver, unmarked. Coalition stamp forged. Gasps rippled from observer pods. Keth's claws tightened on his panel. Sabotage. Deep. Ixo Tellan shoved forward from the cadet ranks. His crest spiked high. Cheat, she tampered. Human trick. Rena straightened. Canister pinched between fingers. Tested. Ixo snarled. Sanctioned bout. Now. Prove clean or fold. Crowd murmured. Coalition cadets leaned in. Humans watched silent. Soren's gaze hardened. Cadet Teln. Formally challenge? Affirmative. Bracket match. Standard rules. Ixo's eyes bored into Rena. No breathers. Open air. Keth's vents hissed. Trap. Beacons would trigger on scores. Poison dose. Rena met Ixo's stare. Accepted. Soren slapped the override. Authorized. Instructor Varn judges. Keth's spines locked. Marshal. Neutral arbiter. Proceed. Soren's voice broke to no dissent. Arena barriers snapped up. Fresh mats deployed. Beacons reset. Live. Keth vaulted to the judge perch. Rifle slung close. Scanners hot. Positions. Rena circled left. Unarmored vest. Bare hands. Ixo mirrored. Whip coiled. Claws extended. Bigger. Faster. Coalition bred for precision. Bell chimed. Ixo lunged. Whip lashed. Rena ducked. Tagged his flank. Beacon pinged. Mist whispered. Faint. Keth's scanner spiked. Toxin live. Rena didn't mask. Inhaled shallow. Countered with elbow strike. Ixo reeled. Yield. Keth barked. Never. Ixo spun. Whip cracked her shoulder. She pivoted inside. Palm to throat. Ixo gagged. Beacon 2 triggered. More mist. Cadets shifted uneasy. Soren leaned forward. Rena pressed. Knee to gut. Ixo dropped. She pinned. Armbar locked. Score! Keth called. Third beacon. Aerosol bloomed thicker. Ixo thrashed. Broke free. Charged wild. Rena sidestepped. Swept leg. Down again. Keth watched her breathe. Steady rhythm. Human lungs filtered? No. Training. She exhaled, controlled. No cough. Ixo rose, snarling. Filthy crawler. Whip arced high. Rena vaulted under. Tagged fourth beacon on his back. Point. Mist coiled. Arena fans whirred harder. Juno's voice crackled calm. Her vitals flat. Enzyme blockers. Standard human field kit. Keth nodded unseen. Aliens dueled clean. Humans prepped for dirt. Ixo faltered. Eyes watered. Poison. Her doing. Rena shook head. Yours. Check beacons. He swung desperate. She caught wrist. Twisted. Whip dropped. She drove him to mat. Mounted. Strikes rained precise. Keth raised hand. Match. Calder wins. Arena erupted. Cheers mixed with coughs. Observers clutched throats. Soren stormed platform. Evac. All beacons offline. Team swarmed. Rena released Ixo. He gasped. Medics rushing. Keth dropped beside her. How'd you know? Instinct. She tapped chest. Smelled wrong from burst 1. Filtered intake. Watch dose. Juno arrived. Injected Ixo. Antidote. Live. He'll walk. Soren keyed station-wide. All trials suspended. Toxin sweep. Mandatory. Keth scanned remaining beacons. 27 armed. Cartel work. Tied to scoring. Ixo sat up, wheezing. Crest flat. I pushed. Thought break you. Rena offered hand. Pulled him vertical. We adapt. Soren eyed the pair. New protocol. Human review on all vectors. Keth's comm buzzed. Security chief traces lead to Ixo's quarters. Forged canister. External drop. Ixo stiffened. Not mine. Keth signaled guards. Detain for scan. Soren nodded. Calder. Instructor rank. Effective now. Rena saluted crisp. No smile. Turned to vents. Scanner out. Residuals up. Breach point. Station lights flickered. Low hum built. Keth gripped rifle. Shadows again. Rena nodded. They want the system dead. Us next. Juno primed injector. Formation. Humans front. Soren drew sidearm. Advance. Keth led breach. Doors hissed. Void suits waited. Rifles barked. Plasma scorched bulkhead. Keth fired back. Hit. Rena flanked. Grenade lobbed. Flashbang popped. 2 down. Ixo covered rear. Whip cracked a sniper. Juno scanned. Clear forward, but core access hot. Station shuddered. Explosives? Keth pushed. Beacons were decoy. Main charge in trial core. Rena vaulted crate. Rigged to arm on full activation. Soren barked. Override codes. Varn, you have judge lock. Keth punched panel. Alarms screamed denial. Sabotaged. Manual disarm. They piled into core chamber. Blinking rig pulsed. Wires snaked to beacon net. Rena knelt. Tools flew. 30 seconds. Shots pinged door. Ixo held. Holding. Keth covered. Faster. Snip. Pulse died. Rig dark. Silence. Soren exhaled. Station secure. Keth watched Rena pack tools. Calm. Routine. Humans didn't win clean. They won alive. But Coalition learned fast. Ixo clasped Rena's arm. Teach me filter. She nodded. Deal. Juno grinned. Next trial? Human standard. Keth's claws eased. Game changed. Poison in the rules. Human sniffed it out. Station hummed steady, but logs whispered more. Cartel, deeper. Next vector armed. Keth keyed fresh sweep. Eyes on Rena. Ready. Shadows never slept. Keth Barnes slammed the activation panel. Hatches sealed with a hydraulic hiss. Arena fog rolled in. Standard obscurant, laced with microtoxins to test suit integrity. Coalition cadets breathed it daily in training. Humans? Unproven. Rena Calder ripped her sleeve. She taped it over her mouth in 3 quick wraps. No panic. No fumbling. She dropped into a low stance, eyes scanning seams on her own void suit. Ixotelm flexed his mandibles. The Vexari cadet towered, claws gleaming under lights. Human folds first. He bounced on spring-loaded legs. Plasma batons crackling. Keth keyed the chime. Trial commences. First to yield or breach loses. Ixo lunged. Flashy whirl baton arcing high for a dominant strike. Showy. Per procedure. Rena sidestepped. Counter. No flourish. She circled back. Breath steady behind her rag. Fog thickened. Keth's sensors pinged. Toxin levels nominal. Ixo pressed, fainting low then high. Rena ducked the bare minimum. Refused the bait. Engage! Soren Halleck barked from the overlook. Marshal Examiner leaned forward, robes stiff. Cadet Calder, position for assessment. Rena ignored him. She exhaled slow through the sleeve. Controlled. Hold. Again. Keth narrowed optics. Humans conserved air like it cost credits. Odd. Ixo snarled. Coward plays. He rushed the clinch. Textbook Vexari grapple. Arms wide to lock and crush. Rena pivoted. Simple leverage turn, hip drive, shoulder block. Ixo flew. Slammed mat hard. Batons skittering. Gasps echoed from observer tiers. Keth's claws tightened on the rail. Clean dump. No excess motion. Ixo rolled up, furious. Luck ends. He charged again. Batons fused into a staff whirl. Fog swirled in his wake. Rena met him halfway, parried once, twice. Each block economical. Elbow deflection, no swing. She stayed inside his reach. Breath hold. Release. Fog clawed at Keth's filters now. Faint itch. Normal. Ixo, overcommitted. High slash. Rena dropped low, swept his lead leg. He crashed prone. She pounced. Mounted full pin, knee on neck plate, arm barred. Ixo bucked. She rode it out. Yield! Ixo hissed. Rena didn't gloat. She traced his armor seals with gloved fingers, pressed each joint. One hissed faint. Secondary chest plate. She leaned in, sniffed through her rag, nodded to herself. Keth activated override. Match halt. Pin confirmed. Calder wins. No. Rena's voice muffled but firm. She yanked Ixo's seal tab. Gas vented white. Ixo convulsed. Poison. Active leak. Trial fog compromised. Arena alarms blared. Keth's HUD flashed red. Toxin spike. Not micro. Lethal cascade. Observers coughed. Sorin clutched his throat. Evacuate. Keth roared. He punched the all-clear. Hatches jammed. Locked protocol. Sabotage. Rena rolled off Ixo. Dragged him to vents. Breach here. Positive pressure flush. She slammed a panel. Rerouting air. Fog thinned local. Keth dropped to the arena floor. Claws scraped rungs. Calder, report. Seal failure pattern. Not random.
She pointed to arena emitters.
Fog laced heavy. Suits pass inspection, but micro leaks amplify and clinch stress. Ixo's first. Mine next. She taped another strip over her knee seal. Breath hold. Exhale. Sorin staggered to the glass. Faceplate fogged. Impossible. Pretrial certified. MedTech Juno Park burst from medbay hatch. Human embed. Rifle slung. Pattern matches silent kill. Cartel wetwork gas. Inert. Till triggered. She primed injectors, tossed one to Rena. Antidote. Dose Ixo. Rena jabbed Ixo's neck. He gasped. Awake. What? Alive. Rena said. Stay low. Filter your intake. Keth scanned emitters. Traces of override code. Breach in systems. Trial rigged. His staff. Dead, on feet. No alerts till now. Ixo staggered up. Claws shook. Human. Saved me? Sorin pounded the lock panel. Override denied. Manual breach required. Juno shouldered her rifle. Formation. Humans front. We sniff this cam. Rena nodded. Taped Ixo's leaking seal. Follow my breath rhythm. Hold on 3-count inhales. Keth covered the main hatch. Varn to security. Arena lockdown. Toxin vector. Static crackled. No response. Dead. Sorin drew his sidearm. Advance. Core access. Doors hissed open. Void suits waited in the antechamber. Staff gear. Abandoned. Rifle sparked from shadows. Plasma scorched bulkhead. Keth fired back. Hit one silhouette. Rena flanked left. Smooth vault over crates. Grenade lobbed. Flashbang popped. 2 down. Ears ringing. Ixo covered rear. Whip uncoiling. Cracked a sniper scope. Shatter. Juno scanned ahead. Clear forward. Core access hot. Station shuttered. Explosives? Keth pushed through. Beacons were decoy. Main charge and trial core. Rena vaulted another crate. Rigged to arm on full activation. Gas bloom, then boom.
Sorin barked.
Override codes. Varn, you have judge lock. Keth punched the panel. Alarm screamed denial. Sabotaged. Manual disarm. They piled into core chamber. Blinking rig pulsed. Wires snaked to beacon net. Trial sensors hijacked. Rena knelt. Tools flew from her pouch. 30 seconds. Shots pinged the door. ISO held position. Holding, Keth covered angles. Faster. Snip. Pulse died. Rig went dark. Silence. Sorin exhaled. Station secure. Keth watched Rena pack her tools. Calm. Routine. She checked Ixo's seals again. Touched Juno's injector pouch. Humans didn't win clean, they won alive. Ixo clasped Rena's arm. Teach me filter trick. Deal. Rena nodded. Juno grinned. Next trial? Human standard. Keth's claws eased. The game changed. Poison in the rules. Humans sniffed it out. Station hummed steady. But logs whispered more. Cartel deeper. Next vector armed. Keth keyed a fresh sweep. Eyes on Rena. She taped a fresh rag strip, just in case. Ready. Shadows never slept. But now, Coalition watched closer. Human normal wasn't fragile. It was forged. Soren gathered the staff in Overlook. Full audit. Calder's instincts flagged it. Procedure blind. Keth nodded. She fought like training. We fought theater. Ixo rubbed his seal. Underestimated. Won't again. Juno patched feeds. Cartel hit logs. Trial was bait. Gas to soften. Bomb to finish. Rena stood quiet. Scanned the arena fog residue. Test seals daily. Breath holds in fog drills. Soren stiffened. New protocol? Affirmative. Keth locked eyes with the marshal. Human standard. Observers murmured. Claws clicked approval. Bexari, Krell, all nodded. Keth activated broadcast. Cadets. Trial evolves. Calder demonstrates. Screens lit. Her tape ragged. Leverage dump. Seal test. Replay looped. Rena didn't preen. She just exhaled controlled, ready for next. Keth's HUD pinged incoming. Cartel chatter intercepted. Another station targeted. Same flaw. Briefing room. Soren waved. Calder leads chem audit. Rena moved first. No hesitation. Keth followed. Humans humble. But their routine? Deadly precise. Arena lights dimmed. New trials dawned. Competence mandatory. Deeper logs decrypted. Cartel embedded higher. Examiner rank. Keth's claw hovered transmit. Alert sent. Rena glanced back. Nodded once. Coalition sharpened. Or died. Keth Barnes slammed the alert beacon. Medical evac to Overlook deck. Staff down. Multiple casualties. His claw trembled on the console. Bodies slumped across the control pit. Bexari techs clutched throats. Krell evaluators sprawled, mandibles slack. No pulses. No breaths. The gas residue clung to his scales like accusation. Evac en route. Dispatch crackled. Corridor teams, secure the path. Keth patched secondary feeds. Corridor cams flickered. His primary team lay twisted in the access tube. Unmoving. Helmets fogged from inside. Dispatch. Corridor teams, unresponsive. Full station breach. Seal all vents. Alarms wailed. Red lights pulsed. Keth gripped the rail. Procedure demanded lockdown. But Calder's words echoed. Seals fail. Humans breathe through it. Routine drills. Rena Calder burst from the arena lift. She dragged a maintenance cart. Its treads grinding sparks. Instructor Varn. Air handlers online. Cartel rerouted power. Keth spun. Cadet Calder? How? Overrode subpanel. She yanked cables rerouting feeds with a multi-tool. Sparks flew. Consoles dimmed. Power shunt complete. Handlers starving. Air handlers whined down. Station hum faltered. Keth's vents rasped clearer. The fog thinned. You commandeered that? Nearest asset. Rena wedged the cart under a junction box. Locked it. Buys time. Filters next. MedTech Juno Park sprinted in. Kit slung over shoulder. Human efficiency. Zero waste. Bender mix ready. Gimme intake access. Rena pried a grate. Juno shoved a pressurized canister inside. Gray foam expanded. Clogging vents. Soot gel hybrid. Binds toxins. Seals leaks. Keth's HUD logged it. Improvised. Effective. Casualties rising. Cartel gas. Silent kill. Juno sealed the grate. Pattern matches cartel hits. Arena bait and station call. Marshal Examiner Soren Hullock stormed the Overlook. Claws flexed. Varn! Report. Gas attack, Marshal. Calder flagged it. Staff dead. Calder and Park contained spread. Soren's optics narrowed on Rena. That cadet rerouted power? Sabotage. Marshal Keth stepped forward. Security? Soren barked into comm. Arrest Calder for tampering. Lock down her cell. Armored Krell thundered up the ramp. Rifles trained. Rena didn't flinch. She scanned schematics on her wristpad. Marshal. Check logs. Handlers pulled station air. Arena fog was test vector. Soren hesitated. Beads confirmed. Power logs spiked pre-trial. Cartel codes embedded. Keth blocked the security lead. Stand down.
She's containing it.
Ixotellan pushed through. Rival cadets crest high. Human trick. She poisoned the arena. Rena ignored him. She tapped the cart console. Secondary intakes. Deck. 7. Routing backup power there. Juno nodded. I'll hit those filters. Varn, cover her. Security hesitated. Soren snarled, Proof cadet, or you're detained. Rena pulled her rag strip, dipped it in residue, lit a microtorch. Fabric smoked, not burned. Gas ignites. Cartel mix. Test it. Soren snatched it. Tested. Flames confirmed. His crest flattened. Security escort park to deck 7. Calder, you lead. Keth followed Rena down the service tube. Cart treads echoed.
How did you know?
Training. Rena spliced a panel. Fog drills. Rag test. Power audit standard. They dropped to deck 7. Air thick here. Bodies slumped. Maintenance crews. Keth gagged. Rena didn't. She jacked the cart. Handlers offline. Full divert. Consoles went dark. Station shuddered. Backup vents hissed clear air. Juno arrived with security. Filters packed. Binders holding. Alarm shifted. All clear in sectors. Keth exhaled. Spread. Contained. Soren's voice boomed over comm. All hands. Toxin neutralized. Calder's protocol. Active. Audit every seal. Ixo glared from the tube mouth. Luck. Rena met his eyes. Prep your ride. Keth's comm pinged. Deeper logs decrypted. Cartel agent, examiner ranked. One of Soren's deputies. Marshal, embedded traitor. Soren's response crackled. Secured. Interrogation now. But Keth's HUD flashed incoming. Cartel chatter. Another station. Identical flaw. Rena. She nodded. Already moving. Chem audit fleet-wide. Transmit protocols. Keth hit send. Coalition feeds lit. Vexari stations. Krell outposts. Human standard uploaded. Seals. Rags. Power shunts. Observers across the net buzzed. Human routine. Saves us. Soren gathered them in briefing. Calder leads. Full review. Rena stood front. No boast. Daily tests. Breath holds. No exceptions. Ixo crossed arms. Muttered, but watched. Juno patched med scans. Reversal starting. Binders work. Keth locked eyes with Soren. Procedure evolved. Soren nodded once. Mandatory, but the hook sank deeper. Cartel logs whispered, Arena wasn't the target. The whole station was. Embedded hit teams stirred in lower decks. Not gas, blades. Keth drew his sidearm. Intruder alert. Lower bays. Rena commandeered a second cart. Flank routes mapped. Security mobilized. Ixo grabbed a rifle. I cover high ground. Juno prepped stimpaks. Wounds first, then fight. Surin took command. Calder point. Varn, overwatch. They dropped into the bays. Shadows moved. Cartel operatives. Cloaked Vexari rogues. Blasters hummed. Rhina rolled the cart. Rerouted bay lights. Strobes blinded. She dove, rag-wrapped hand signaling. Keth fired. Dropped one. Flank left. Ixo leaped from catwalk. Tackled another. Got it, Juno darted. Injected a stim to a wounded guard. Up. Rena shunted power. Emergency fields trapped 2. Coalition closed. Last rogue lunged at Soren. Rena intercepted. Simple block. Twist. Down. Silence fell. Bodies secured. Soren stared. Your instincts. Normal. Rena wiped her rag. Team drill. Keth's scales tingled. Humans didn't brag. They executed. Fleet-wide pings confirmed. Protocols locked in. Station safe. But cartel decrypts rolled. Higher in bed. Command level. Keth's claw hovered new transmit. Rena glanced. Nodded. Coalition sharpened. Keth watched her move to next panel. Calm. Ready. Humans humble. Routine lethal. Station lights steadied. New trials dawned. Deeper threat loomed. Cartel core breached coalition ranks. Calder's audit just began. Keth followed. No hesitation. Competence wasn't optional. It was survival. Rena paused at a sealed door. Scanned.
Breach here. They hit the real bomb.
Alarms screamed anew. Timer ticked. She pried it open. Wires pulsed. Standard diffuse. No fear. Just action. Keth's claw slammed the arrest transmit. Held it. No order yet. He barked into comms.
Calder, source node. Find it.
Now. Rena nodded. Wires snipped clean. Timer died. She sealed the panel. Rag wiped her hands. Nodes upstream. Service core. Alarms wailed. Cartel rogues still loose. Station shook from distant blasts. Soren's voice crackled. Varn, contain or I lock you all down. Keth ignored. Pointed cadets. Stack up. Calder leads. Rena crouched first. Ixo grumbled behind. Juno flanked right. Keth covered rear. 3 cadet stack plunged into service shafts. Dim conduits hummed. Rena moved like water, marked bulkhead with chemlight. Choke point 1. Ambush here. Keth scanned thermals. Clear. For now. She sliced next hatch. Crawled low. Pipes dripped coolant. Echoes bounced. Ixo hissed. Human leads. She'll trip us. Quiet! Keth snapped. Scales itched. Calder's pace ate distance. No waste. Rena paused. Tapped wall. Vibration. Patrol ahead. Marked second choke. X for crossfire. Stack tightened. Juno whispered. Pulse ox steady. No fatigue. Blaster fire erupted ahead. Shafts lit orange.
Contact!
Keth yelled. Rena rolled forward. Marked third choke. Flank right. Low. Ixo shoved past. My kill. He leaped into open duct. Live fire chewed metal. Keth fired bursts. Dropped a shadow. Rogues cloaked in vapor camo. Vexari scum. Rena signaled. Strobe burst from her pack. Blinded 2. Ixo tackled 1. Claws raked.
Mine!
But Rogue twisted. Blade flashed toward Rena's back. Ixo dove. Covered her. Took graze to arm.
Go!
Rena surged. Led stack deeper. Marked fourth choke. Node chamber next. Keth's heart thumped. Ixo followed fire to reclaim status. Chose human over pride. Shaft narrowed. Steam vents hissed. Rena pried great. Peered. 2 guards. Node pulsing red. She cut power line. Lights died. Sound dampers engaged. Silence crushed. Stack flowed in. Keth flanked left. Juno right. Ixo center, bleeding but steady. Darkness absolute. Rogues fired blind. Bolts. Scorched walls. Rena ghosted forward. Footsteps silent. Rag muffled her breather. Keth heard grunt. Thud.
Body hit deck. Second rogue spun.
Rena's knife pressed throat. No slash. Pressure only. Surrender, she whispered. Human calm cut deeper than blade. Rogue dropped weapon. Claws up. Lights snapped back. Node exposed. Cartel RID decrypting command overrides. Juno scanned. Virus hub. 1 pull. Station falls. Ixo snarled. End it. Rena traced circuits. Not yet. Trace back. Plugged her pad. Data streamed. Keth covered door. Watched her work. Fingers flew. No pause. Soren burst in. Report. Source secured, Keth said. Calder's call. Marshal Examiner glared at Node. Cartel in bed. How deep? Rena unplugged. Command level. Your roster. Soren stiffened. Impossible. Alarms shifted. New ping. Internal breach. Ixo clutched arm. She saved my scale. We move. Rena marked. Node. Stack reforms. Next. Choke. Keth delayed no more. Claws gripped rifle. Human routine rewrote rules. They stacked again. Shafts awaited. Rena led. Blasters hummed live. Real trial burned hot. Keth followed. Station's fate hinged on her next mark. Deeper shafts beckoned. Cartel ghosts stirred. Rena sliced hatch. Steam billowed. She marked instant. Choke 5. Heavy fire incoming. Stack braced. Ixo nodded to her. No words. Respect sealed in blood. Juno injected his wound. Stimmed. Cover fire. Keth overwatched. Thermals flickered. 3 rogues massed. Rena whispered, lights out on my 3. Cut relay. Dark again. Sound null. Rogues charged blind. Stack ambushed. Keth dropped lead. Ixo flanked. Juno tagged Straggler with dart. Rena cornered last. Cut his air! Rogue gasped. Surrendered. Node chamber sealed. But data spilled secrets. Rena's pad beeped. Embed list. Instructor tier. Keth's blood chilled. His own staff? Soren Comed. Varn, lockdown now. Calder's hunting. She traced path. Service Corps to officer decks. Stack moved. Cadets trailed sparks of awe. Ixo muttered. Humans, normal? Deadly normal. Keth said. Rena marked choke 6, elevator shaft, rigged. They bypassed. Grappled lines. Dropped silent. Firefight erupted topside. Coalition guards fell to friendly codes. Rena hacked door, burst in low. Saboteur hunched at console. Coalition insignia. Traitor. He spun. Blaster raised. Rena cut mains. Pitch black. Dampers hummed. Saboteur fired wild. Keth flanked. Disarmed. Ixo pinned. Talk. Cartel pays better, traitor spat. Rena restored selective lights. Console glowed. Upload paused. Juno scanned. Deeper node. Core reactor. Soren arrived with squad. Secure him. Keth waved off. Calder's lead. She nodded. Stacked to reactor. Chokes marked. Timer on console ticked. 5 minutes. Real bullets flew. Rules shattered. Keth gripped tighter. Human instinct exposed flaw. Trial system blind to embeds. Competence standard shifted. Fleet-wide. But reactor loomed. Cartel endgame. Rena led on. Calm. Unbroken. Stack plunged. Fire waited. Keth's scales burned. Survival demanded her way. They hit service ladder. Climbed fast. Blasts shook rungs. Rogue sniper above. Ixo returned fire. Covered Rena's ascent. She reached top. Marked final choke. Node here. Armed. Pride panel. Wires live. Guard inside lights cut. Silence. Guard thrashed blind. Rena choked hold. Surrender. Node yanked. Virus died. Station steadied. Alarms silenced. Soren stared. You rewrote protocol.
Rena wiped rag. Found flaw.
Fixed it. Keth transmitted. Fleet ping. Human audit standard. Ixo saluted.
Teach me stack.
Juno grinned. Routine. Deeper scans rolled. Cartel webs cracked. But shadows lingered. Next embed. Rena scanned horizon panel. Paused. Another pulse, she said. Off station. Keth's claw tensed. Trial evolved. Bullets led. Humans followed. No. Humans carved path. Coalition sharpened. New competence dawned. Threat multiplied. Calder's hunt continued. Keth slammed the sabotaged beacon onto the central hollow display. Its casing split open under his claw, exposing twisted circuits and cartel-grade disruptors. The trial chamber erupted in gasps. Cadets leaned forward. Examiners froze. Evidence. Keth barked.
This beacon was rigged. Calder didn't fail.
It failed her. Screens flickered. Replay footage rolled. Rena's squad stacking at the choke. Beacon pulsing false signals, drawing fire. Marshal Soren Halleck's frills flared. Varn, you called failure. Publicly, Keth met her gaze. Retracted. Now. Human instinct spotted the embed. Cartel sabotage. Trial compromised. Murmurs swelled. Ixotelm gripped his console. Mandibles clicking. Soren raised a claw. Silence dropped. Board convenes. Emergency session. All evaluators. Report. Keth transmitted the scan data. Disruptor signatures matched off-station pulses. Reactor node virus linked back. Juno Park patched in from medbay. Silent kill pattern. Toxin residue on beacon. Lethal to all species. Soren's eyes narrowed. Humans. Rewrite safety protocol. Full audit. Calder stack method. Mandatory. Rena stood at parade rest beside Keth. No smirk. Just nod. Done, she said. Fundamentals first. Board feeds lit up. Coalition reps from 3 fleets pinged approval. Human standard. Fleet-wide. Keth's scales itched. Procedure bent. Human routine exposed the blind spot. Soren adjourned the board. Trial restarts. Dawn cycle. One change. Assistant evaluators from cadets. Her gaze locked on Rena. Calder. You serve. Rena saluted. Crisp. Ixo stepped forward. His insignia gleamed. High-ranked chevrons. Marshal.
I protest. Human unproven.
Soren waved him off. Proven. You? Demoted pending review. Ixo's frills wilted. He shot Rena a glare. Chamber cleared. Keth lingered, reviewing logs. Rena approached Ixo in the corridor. Keth watched from the viewport. She held out his fallen insignia. Pinned it back with steady fingers. You dropped this, Rena said. Earn it in training. Stack drills. My lead. Ixo snatched it. Human. You cheat instinct. Rena tilted her head. Instinct. Routine. You escalate. We adapt. Join or fold. He hesitated. Claws flexed. Then nodded once. Teach. Keth exhaled. Rena turned. Spotted him. Evaluator. Ready? Always. He fell in step. Station hummed stable now, but off-station pulse nagged. Dawn cycle hit. Trial arena reset. Hollow barriers shimmered. Beacons glowed. Triple-checked. Human audited. Keth stood at judge podium. Cadets. Trial resumes. Protocol evolved. Calder. Assist. Rena took station beside him. Console synced to her tablet. Calm scan. Ixo squad stacked first. He barked orders. Choke breach. Weapons hot. They moved. Textbook. But Rena keyed override. Beacon ping false. Flank check. Ixo paused. Glanced. Adjusted. Cleared the sim clean. Next squad fumbled. Rena called flaw. Node blind. Stack deeper. Keth watched. Her inputs shaved seconds. No egos. Just fixes. Soren observed from upper deck. Varn. Report. Human elevates all, Keth said. Competence shared. Juno patched through. Scans clear here. But that pulse? Cartel relay. Inbound vector. Keth's claw tensed. Arena alarms whooped. Real drill shift. Live fire, he ordered. Calder. Lead evaluation. Rena nodded. Squads. Stack my marks. Fundamentals hold. Cadets moved. Ixo covered her flank. Seamless. But console spiked. Off-station pulse synced. Docking clamp breach. Board the intruder, Soren commanded. Calder's protocol. Keth gripped rail. Humans carved path. Now aliens followed. Rena plotted intercept. Relay node. Choke here. Stack. And breach. Ixo geared up. With you. They launched. Shuttles burned hot. Keth monitored feeds. Her voice steady. Fundamentals. Adapt. Boarding pod clamped. Breach charge popped. Cartel thugs spilled out. Armed, scaled like shadows. Rena squad flowed. Stack low. Ixo suppressed. She marked chokes. Node armed. Flank clear. Gunfire cracked. Bub dropped. Human rounds punched clean. Keth zoomed feed. Rena choked a guard. Silent takedown. Node yanked. Virus died. Relay silenced. Soren's voice cut in. Secure. Extract. Back aboard. Cadets debriefed. Ixo saluted Rena. Earned. Stackmaster. She waved it off. Team. Keth posted scores. All passed. Human curve. But Juno's ping hit private. Pulse chain. Deeper web. Fleet yards next. Keth's scales burned. Trial rewritten. Doctrine shifted. Rena scanned horizon again. Next embed. We hunt. Soren convened full board. Human audit permanent. Calder permanent evaluator. Keth nodded. Coalition sharpened. Threats multiplied. One flaw fixed. More weighted. Ixo trained under Rena. Stacks tightened. Coalition cadets mimicked. Keth reviewed evals. Human normal. Extraordinary baseline. Station alerts pinged. New pulse. Stronger. Boarding teams. Rena called.
By protocol.
They stacked. Fire waited. Humans led. Aliens excelled. Competence dawned fleet-wide. But cartel endgame loomed. Shadows deepened. Keth chambered round. Trial eternal. Rena's eyes locked on scope. Fundamentals win. Pulse spiked. Breach imminent. They plunged.